Hi, I'm Professor Brian Rogers, and welcome to my communications neighborhood. Today, well, first off, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day here in Manhattan. The sun is out. I live here in the Rose Hill neighborhood of Manhattan, which is very close to Madison Square Park, and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you're watching this today from China or South Korea or some other part of Asia, you're very jealous of this day because it's amazing. What I want to talk about here is I want to talk about the 3x3. I want to talk about an overview of what the book is and what I'm trying to accomplish. Essentially, the 3x3 breaks down into a couple of different ways. But the first way we can think about it are the three overview ideas that we're going to be doing with the book. Number one, we're going to be building content, okay? What that means is we're going to think well in advance, long before you ever go into your first interview. We're going to be thinking about the stories that you're going to tell, how you're going to tell them, and then how you're going to structure those stories so that they're meaningful and they tell things about you and your life that are relevant for the job, relevant for the career, relevant for that particular employer, etc. So first off, it's going to be content building. The next thing we're going to talk about your verbal delivery and your nonverbal delivery. So your body language and your voice. How to use them, how to make sure that you're giving off the right energy. Finally, the last thing is we're going to talk about how to practice and some of the things that you can do before the interview to really sort of help yourself ace it and feel good. So these are some poses that you can do. I'm a hot yoga teacher, so I'm big into these poses. I know they help your body. I know they make you feel good. So we're going to talk a lot about that. That's the basic sort of overview of the 3x3. Number one, content building. Thinking about the stories, thinking about what you're going to say. I think about an interview as essentially a Q&A session. But like a Q&A session that you might see, say for example, at a press conference, this is one that's very well scheduled. It's known in advance. There's a very particular format to it. It's typically one-on-one, maybe two-on-one, but you know what they're going to come in and ask you for the most part. You know they're going to talk about your background. You know they're going to talk about your resume. You can prepare for these things. You can plan for these questions. And so that's exactly what we want to do. We want to sit down. We want to go through your background systematically, find those areas that best exemplify who you are and what you've done, and then really go dig into them and find some good stories that bring these experiences to life. People remember stories. Stories are memorable. Stories are what we want to hear. Human beings have been telling each other stories for thousands and thousands of years. This is the principal way we've always communicated with each other. Telling stories is a really good thing, and it's going to help you stand out. And because of the way the interview works, you have the opportunity to prepare these long in advance. So if you think about it, you can really get good at delivering these stories and knowing how you want to tell them. And you can even vary it slightly from interview to interview so that it sounds natural and really good, really well delivered. Verbal and nonverbal delivery, your hand gestures, right? How are you using your hands? Where you put your hands, if there's a table in front of you, for example. Your body, how do you sit? We'll talk more in another video about the exact seated position, but how you sit up, how you face the interviewer, how much eye contact you have with the interviewer. All these things are extremely important. Your voice, how the pitch varies, the volume, the pace, how fast you're talking, and also the timbre, the emotion that you can load into your voice from time to time. How to use that. Some other little small details, things like the handshake. How to really nail the handshake. We'll talk about that in another video. The closer's question. The closer's question comes in right at the end of the interview. It's a really big one. I think it's one of the best things in the book. Personally, I think it's obviously the subject of its own video. Personally, I think it's one of the things that's really going to make you stand out, make you memorable, and make employers think about moving you on to the next round or making you an offer. These are the things that we're going to talk about as we go through some of these videos. If anyone has any questions, please send them to me. Make your comments down in the comment section, and please subscribe, like, or share these videos if you wouldn't mind. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. See you in the next video.